Hey, welcome back, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving week. Today we are talking about Wirbel Dragon, who is the closest we are getting to Vortex Dragon or Vortex Dragonute from the original Vanguard. Um, I just want to do a quick little announcement, which was I didn't notice, but we hit over 100 subs, which I think is really cool. I appreciate you guys for tuning in, checking it out, and liking the content. If there's something special you guys would like to do to like celebrate 100, Q&A, tier list, whatever else we can figure out, leave that down in the comments. And as of right now, we're not 100% sure if something's coming out the day before Thanksgiving or if I'm getting one Thanksgiving morning, but we will see. So, with that out of the way, let's hop into this deck profile. So we have the little man Jason. He looks like a little version of Lizard Soldier Conroe from the original, which I think is really cool. He's just your average starter. We got Joku, which Joku's ability is when the Grade 2 rides over it, you Energy Blast 3, draw 1, and give your Vanguard +5 for the turn, which is not like the what you'd expect to hear from a ride line, and you'd be like, that's kind of like a weak effect, but this deck generates a lot of extra energy, so that is fine. And then we have Oz, Azin, I think is how you pronounce his name. He's basically when the grade 3 rides over it, the next counterblast used for an auto ability is reduced by 1. Lastly, we have the star of the show, which is Wirbel Dragon. Uh, Secret Rare is beautiful. I wish I had 3 more of them, but he's got a couple abilities. The first is at the beginning of your main phase, you're going to energy charge 3 more. So basically, every turn, once you hit grade 3, you're getting 6 energy a turn, which is a really interesting concept. However, you are pouring all that into his other ability, which is Energy Blast 3 to retire one of your opponent's rear guards. And then if you couldn't retire one, you get to give him +5. But if your opponent's at grade 3, you get to give him +10 instead, which is really nice because the extra like power, if you don't like kill one of your opponent's stuff, ties into his next effect, which is a restanding effect. So at the end of the battle that he attacked, if you have Energy Blast 6 or more off of his own ability this turn, you get to counterblast 1, restand him, he'll lose 2 checks, but if you soul blast another copy of him out, you can give him back a drive, which is kind of nice. And we get a card in set 11 that makes it a little more feasible to keep recurring a soul for the effect to give an extra drive, but right now we don't have that, which is fine. We just kind of got to rely on Persona Ride. But this deck, the restands in this deck and all the extra power are like really cool and really like they'll scare your opponent like a little bit. We're gonna go on to the grade 3 cards and the Regalis piece of the deck. So obviously we have to play 3 Persona Ride because we want to get that extra drive check. And our Regalis piece is going to be the Twin Cast because there are orders I want to play during my turn. We go on to the order cards. We're going to play 3 Drag Resonance. Basically, if your Vanguard restands, you get to give your front row an extra 10k power, which is really nice. And then 1 copy of Best Harvest, which is every time you retire a rear guard, you draw a card, which is really cool. Gets you a lot of hand advantage. The reason we're only on 1 is because there's a lot of times where the +10 from this just works better, so I'd rather max out on that. But if you see that you would rather play more copies of this, you can go ahead. But I think in the next couple of weeks, this is going to be the better order by far to play. Going on to the grade 2s, we got a little stack of them. So we got his main guy, which is Bishara. So Bishara has 2 abilities. One is an on place to counterblast 1. If you're on Wirbel or you reveal Wirbel in ride deck, you get to draw a card, you get to retire one of your opponent's rear guards, and if you couldn't, you get to draw a card. So this kind of opens up for a lot of different avenues. You can either focus on killing their board with Wirbel to get draws off of this, or you can kill one of their guys with this to make it so that when you use another Wirbel ability, if they only have a couple of rear guards, that one of those Energy Blast 3s can actually give the Vanguard plus 10, which is really nice. We have the new promo card, which is Nahala. Now, Nahala is a very interesting card because it has, well, first of all, it has the boost ability, which is kind of cool. Uh, Only if you are on Wirbel. And the second one, I am pretty sure you are rear guard and drop zone. Da, 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 da. Yes. So as ability rear guard and drop zone, you can bind one of them, but you can only bind one of these once per turn. From rear or drop to give your Vanguard the ability when it attacks to give your front row +5 until end of turn, which is really cool. Um, Basically, it's a mini version of the order, but it also means you have something that you don't mind like discarding, and it also is a attacker in like very niche situations, but it's a 10k booster. And lastly, we have 4 copies of Quash to get the Persona ticket, which the extra shield does come up in this deck. It's also something you can use as a form of aggression. Just calling it out early, getting the quick tick, and just hitting your opponent. Very nice card. I don't know if it makes it in when we get the set 11 support, but we'll have to test that out. Moving on to the grade ones. The grade one count is pretty. I feel like it's pretty straightforward. So we have its name support, which is Iurnus. I don't know if I said that right, but um, this is a really like good card and extender for the deck. So what it does is you can energy blast 3, or when you play it, if you have Wirbel, you energy charge 3. So this gives you an extra energy blast to use for your Vanguard's ability, because the rest of it says that you can't use like the energy generator if you do this energy charge 3, which is perfectly fine. We're always down to just put it all into this because even going first, you can call this, go up to 9 energy, kill like 2 things, and then your opponent has an open, give him +5 for the last energy blast, or you can save it for next turn. And its other ability is at the end of a battle that it boosts, specifically Wirbel, you can Soul Blast 1 to restand it with him. So your column will either be hitting 21 or 31 if you've Persona Road. So having a restanding booster is really nice. We got, I believe it's Nilum is how you pronounce this one. She has 2 abilities. The first is that if you have Energy Blast, or if you have removed one of your opponent's rear guards through retiring or binding, you get to give her +5. Like she has a continuous +5, which is really cool. So she's a 13k booster, or if you're desperate, a 13k attacker. Her other ability is to counterblast 1, look at top 7 to add a grade 3 card, and shuffle your deck. But if you didn't add one, you get to countercharge 1. So this helps you find your orders, this helps you find your Persona rides. Just a really solid card overall. We've got Shenri. We're not always playing in order because sometimes you do whiff on it. But Shenri gets 5k if your opponent has uh, 1 or less rear guards, or if you played in order, and in the battle, if you gave it the power, you can put into soul and draw a card. Just a nice early aggression piece, and I don't think it's worth maxing out on, but if you feel like you would like to max on it, you're more than welcome to. And lastly, we have the generic perfect guards. Not a lot to say on those. And really quick, going with because now that we've been through the main deck, just to talk, there is the Overlord promo. If you would like to include that into the deck and include the the Tifalt clone for Dragon Empire, you are more than welcome to. I just personally didn't really care for it this set. I prefer this kind of list that I'm running now. So moving on to the triggers, we have Drag Veda. It's either you play Drag Veda or you play the blue OT. Either is fine, but I'm doing Drag Veda because you can do the funny thing of checking it on the first drive check, having an extra Vanguard attack, then using the restand ability. And then since we are restanding Vanguard, we're obviously playing 8 critical triggers. The goal is to make sure our opponent is having a hard time with our Vanguard as much as possible. We got three fronts. This is the one of the questionable parts on the deck. There's sometimes where I feel like I really would like the draw triggers instead, but there's also a lot of games where these fronts come more in handy. Um, but I'm going to see how I feel when we get the next wave of support to finalize that. And lastly, we have four heal triggers. I like the little dinosaur guy. He's kind of cute. That wraps it up for this one. So again, leave in the comments if you guys want anything special for our 100 subs special, however you want to call it. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video, guys. I'm going to catch you one in the next one. Peace.